Steve Reich meets jazz rock fusion. I mean, you have some background in the Nordic music tradition as well. Am I right?
Some, I guess, you know.
So
not a lot. But I'm not sure what you mean by minimalistic, but for me it all blends together. So
do you have any important names like Steve Reich and
the important names? Well, those are important names, but I think for me the more important name would be Jimi Hendrix.
Yeah.
So, oh yeah. So,
why?
Just because of the sound. I mean, the ability to create sound, create an experience with sound.
And so your influence has more to do with Jimi Hendrix than your own instrument.
I mean, just from the point of view of sound and music, that's just what I think is great, you know. But I mean, I don't know if it's maybe the thing that influenced me to become a percussionist because of the ability to work with that much sound.
So, have you anything in your mind? I mean, you could put in detail, or I would like to hear more about the Jimi Hendrix connection.
Well,
how to put it in musical terms?
Just the variety of sound, you know. I mean, Hendrix got so much sound from the instrument, so much different kind of sound. He made such great use of sound in the way he put music together that, for me, it represents kind of the apex in terms of what's available. It always occurred to me that rather than to do it on guitar and try and come up through that tradition and do it in the way that he did it, which was so beautiful and unique, that the way that always occurred naturally to me to do it was with percussion. So it's maybe the same spirit or intention, but my instrument has never been guitar. My instrument has always been percussion from when I was young. So, you know, I mean, in the same way, it's like I feel influenced by Bach, or the music of Bach and Bartók quite a bit, but I'm not a specialist in that music.
How would you describe your new solo album as a whole body of work?
You mean, like stylistically?
Yeah.
I wouldn't. It's let me see. I guess you'd have to call it New Age Afro Pop World Jazz or something. You know, it has all those influences.
I think that's the definition.
But it depends what you think about New Age too. I mean, I think it is a new sensibility.
What's your relationship with these all genres like music?
Not much. I mean, actually no relationship with it. In terms of, you mean as a music, as a market or something?
As a music, yeah. How about jazz?
I used to have a lot of relationship with jazz. I don't really have any relationship with music right now. This new stuff was recorded 3 years ago, and what I'm working more on now is music that's created from sound and percussion music only. There was a CD that was released 2 years ago called Global Warming. It's only percussion music. And so, I don't know, I forgot what you asked, but I don't know if that answered it.
Yeah, just to name some influences, because you don't compose in a musical vacuum. So there must be some influences, or what were starting point.
But see, it's all an influence. I mean, it's like African stuff is an influence, Indonesian stuff. Every time you hear something, it's an influence.
Yeah.
And then it's all how you take that and then make music out of it.
Yeah.
So I think I've probably been exposed to a lot of stuff, you know, stuff from different parts of the world, and certainly the music of Steve Reich and the music of John Cage, and I've never played Harry Partch because his instruments are unique. He played on those instruments. But I know his music. Lou Harrison, you know, these kind of composers. Harold Budd. Jim Tenney. But it's, you know, it all blends together for me.
The reason I refer to minimalistic music is that there's repetition in the music. So that was
patterns, you mean use of patterns?
Yeah.
But see, I think of minimalistic stuff as being Anton Webern.
Yeah.
That's minimalistic because there's hardly anything going on. It's just this note and then this note and then it waits. And, you know, so I guess it depends what you call it. Is that a term that was applied for Steve Reich and those guys?
Yeah.
Minimalistic?
Yeah. And also Harry Parch.
Harry Parch.
Well.
Minimalistic for Harry Parch?
Yeah, in a way, I think so.
John Cage, maybe. Harry Parch is very busy. You know, dense. There's a lot going on with Harry Parch.
But the pieces are very long, and I think that
we've always just called it pattern music, you know, or ostinato.
Yeah.
A lot of times Steve Reich was called phase music because it's always moving out of phase.
Yeah.
Philip Glass, where he's the classic minimalist composer, right?
Yeah.
Make something from nothing.
Yeah. How would you describe the approach of percussion music? Not too many totally percussive groups around, and how would you describe his approach?
Well, Repercussion Unit grew from these other influences you're talking about, John Cage and Harry Parch and Lou Harrison, Steve Reich, and also the music of India, and then pop music, you know, Western pop. And the approach was always just to put those influences together and make one new music out of all that was indigenous to this area. Comes from here, Southern California, in the desert, and kind of reflects the feeling of this area.
So, what part did you play in that group? Were you the leader, or?
No, I was not the leader, but there was 6 of us that all started the group together at one time in 1974.
And it's still alive?
Yeah, we played together last week.
Okay. So, rhythmically, how would you approach this music? I mean, I think I heard something like this. Patterns of ostinato in the background, and there's some freer stuff.
Repercussion?
Around. Yeah.
Well, there's so many different pieces, and each one is different, you know. So I mean, it's they're all different. But it's basically it's rhythm music, it's group stuff. Sometimes there's odd grouping. Sometimes it's John Bergamo has written some pieces that are a lot like Frank's music in some ways, 5s and 7s and that kind of stuff.
Polyrhythms.
Yeah.
And you have a kind of rock drummer in your band.
Repercussion unit?
Yes, I think so. It sounded like a rock drum
it's a
session.
different
Yeah.
drummer every tune.
Yeah.
Everybody plays drums.
I think I saw a clip, a video clip that was taken in Germany. I think.
Mm-hmm.
And there was your interview as well. Do you remember that?
I don't know.
I don't remember that. Yeah. Okay. So, is there anything else you would like to tell me about Repercussion Unit? Are you going to do another album?
There is another album that we recorded for CMP in 1988 or 1987. We're still waiting for it to come out. It's only been 9 years, but you know, we're hoping it'll come out. So, but CMP moved very slowly. So, I hope that one will come out. It's all improvisation. We think it's the best thing we've recorded yet. But I mean, there's been a lot that's been recorded since then. But it was a good recording. Actually, they have 2 records. There's another one called Souvenirs of the Year 2000, which is completely improvisation on with sounds. And then Walter Quintus, the CMP engineer, was doing effects to the sounds at once. And so it's all these loops going and sounds of space and different things. And that one actually